how they do it? You just misspell a hashtag. That's how you do it. Like, let's say we have a hashtag Coke. Okay, hashtag Coke, and then you put a P, misspell it, or whatever at the end of Coke. So you misspell Coke, takes you right in. Yep, right in, broad daylight. Twitter was set up for the pedophiles. And Elon's got all that stuff. Elon, if you're listening, brother, give it to President Trump. You know the deal, man. Man, it's a done deal.
Are they still arguing?
No, I don't think so. I mean, listen, they're going to kick it around. Politics is politics. You got certain, people that are around you, want you to do certain things, say certain things, this and that, At the end of the day, it's America, Americans first, That's the way I believe, you know what I mean? They're going to have their squabbles and their differences and stuff like that. But, I think that, I think everybody should be watched. You know what I mean? And if you go sideways or make a wrong decision or whatever, you should be corrected, Right. I mean, that's what I wish, you know what I mean? My thing was that when I did that interview, it validated me, because when you scroll through all the comments, the tens and tens of thousands of comments, there was two that stood out. It was GOAT and Legend. GOAT and Legend. Well, I was like, MAGA GOAT? Nah. MAGA Legend? Yeah. So that's how it became basically MAGA Legend. So now it all directs towards my interview. And the reason why I'm glad that it does is because the biggest problem that we have is pedophilia. Everybody's like, oh, we have this problem. Oh, we have this problem. No. The biggest problem that we have is pedophilia. Because if they're pedophiles that are running the show, which there are, okay, $65,000 worth of hot dogs, please explain that to me. It's in Obama's own emails. Sounds to us like he had a pedophile party at the White House. That's what it sounds like to us. And the thing is that we have other emails too that kind of corroborate, that idea, as grotesque as it may sound. But if Bill Clinton went down 27 times, I mean, you've got Bill Gates went down to Epstein Island 34 times. I mean, when you take a look at how many times these individuals went down there, they're going down there for a reason. And
how long the time span? I'm curious. Let's Bill Gates.
I think it was 10, 20-year time span.
Okay. So it wasn't like every weekend for a year or something?
I don't know. I don't know exactly specifics. I know the total amount. I don't know the time span.
Okay.
I believe it was within 10 years, so yeah, I really don't. I really don't know. It would be interesting to find that out. Yeah. But when you take a look at, the pedophilia, it's huge. It's huge in Hollywood. It's huge. It's huge all over the place. And it's really, gosh, it's sad, man. There's a lot of victims. They say that every pedophile out there has at least 70 victims in a lifetime. We'll have on average, yeah. And that's not 70 instances with one person. That's 70
different
victims.
People. Wow.
So, and you destroy lives, by that. I'm a victim. I was raped as a little boy, and so I know as a victim what it feels like. And so I think that that's one of the reasons why God has me fighting as hard as I am for these children, is because of that, because I've had the experiences that I've had, and as hard as it is for me to cope and to understand and deal and forgive, now it's time to put all that time and energy to use and to expose pedophilia.
Because you know what it looks like.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because it hurts, and it hurts for a lifetime. It destroys your life. I've been married 3 times, you know? I mean, I've haven't been able to have the relationship that I think I could have had that not happened to me.
Let's switch gears. You can make me cry here in a minute.
It's all good.
It's not often that a man will admit to experiencing something like that. So
It's
I appreciate
it's
that.
important.
It
And
is important.
It is, because I don't want people to look at me as a victim.
Right.
I want them to look at me as someone who has the ability to be a very, very loud voice for the innocent.
Now, with that being said, I know back in the day, they used to say, well, if you were touched, you're going to touch. How do you feel about people that think that way?
You know, man, I think we're all on our own track with God. I think that every situation's different. I don't think you can really have
Yeah. Well, back in the day, they used to say women were hysterical if they complained about pain.
right.
So,
Right, yeah, I think that, it's, everything has a purpose. Whether we understand it or not, is a whole nother deal. But, people ask, well, why, if there's a God, why would he allow that to happen? You know what I mean?
yeah.
And I can honestly say I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
Some people will say free will.
And that's true. And I think that does have something to do with it. I would agree with that. I would agree with that. But God told me he wants to save the pedophiles, which is interesting to me, and it took me a long time to get there. You know what I mean? Where, as crazy as it sounds, he can forgive any sin.